Hello, I'm John Cleese. Now, have you ever wondered what makes sacred art really sacred? I mean, does the so-called creative spirit lie within the artist, or is it something channeled through the artist that comes from somewhere else entirely? In either case, prepare to be totally delighted by what follows: the first-time meeting of a Tibetan Lama and a Navajo sculptress. So, settle back, take a deep breath, and let your creative spirit float in the wind as we join our host, Phil Cousineau, with his esteemed guests for this colourful, art-drenched episode of Global Spirit, the first internal travel series.
Whether expressed through sculpture, music, painting, or dance, art is one of the few human endeavors that can open a special doorway to higher human consciousness. In most world religions, what is called sacred or spiritual art is intended to transport both the artist and the witness into a more direct relationship with God, the deities, or the spiritual forces that are represented. As a writer, I'm fascinated by the unique ability of art to foster realizations and transformations of all kinds. For today's show, we've invited two guests from two very different but related cultural traditions. Lama Lhanang Rinpoche is a Tibetan Lama and painter from the Nyingma tradition. That is, he's a Lama who lives and works in the world rather than living a secluded monastic life. Today, Lama Lhanang paints and teaches the Buddhist Dharma in East Los Angeles. From the Jemez Pueblo near Santa Fe, we've invited a Native American sculptor named Estella Loretto, well known throughout the Southwest for her bold designs, her mythic vision, and her extraordinary artistic talent. Estella has traveled all over the world, including India, where she met many Tibetan people. And just by bringing these two artists and traditions together, I'm wondering if there'll be some spark of recognition of the distant historic affinity between the Native American and the Tibetan cultures. Welcome to Art and the Creative Spirit. Welcome to Global Spirit. Today I'm very excited to be able to have the chance to talk about creativity, the creative spirit with you. I'm absolutely fascinated by the notion of this life force called creativity that moves through us. Can you describe what this creative spirit is in your life and in your work?
Before I answer, Phil, I'd like to light a couple of candles that I brought. And it is to ignite the creative spirit of this conversation and for all of us being together.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's just so wonderful to have these candles. In the world, all the religion, they always use the light or the internal light or any sacred places, they always use the light. In Tibet, we use butter lamps for world peace through the inner peace. So we're going to send the light to the world with the peace and happiness.
Lama, would you like to give us an opening prayer over these candles and bless our show?
Yes. Lama Dhamma Namje Jabje the Dhamma me bala Gor of the Tude Govi Shanzalo. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a wonderful way to spark the creativity of our show. And now, can you tell us, how does this notion of the creative spirit inspire your own work?
I think there's so much ideas in my mind. It's too many things, ideas comes to my mind. I have very wild creative spirit. I think it has so many ideas come in my mind. So I have to reduce some and to make more focused to few things.
How about you, Estella? Can you describe what this creative spirit is in your life and in your work?
I really believe that creating art is a very deep spiritual process. It really brings out the depth of where you are in your life, what is occurring in your life in the moment, and how you want to express your inner feelings, your prayer, and how you want to share it with the world.
Lama, can everybody be an artist? Can everybody be creative?
Oh, absolutely. We knowingly or unknowingly, we create in some art. If you took a step, each step is creating art. Each you say one words, it's become the words is art. And also life is art. But what kind of art you want? The creative spirit is with you. The spirit of light or spirit of dark. Which energy you focus, that energy brings that drawing or that art. So what I'm saying is everything is art. Is what you see, everything, houses, mountains, beautiful art, ocean. It's so beautiful art. But the inner art is the best. When you create a beautiful picture inside your heart, that is always there. Nobody can take it. Nobody can erase it. It stays with you. That's why it's the meditation is the most beautiful art. It's called ultimate art.
Well, this is a great chance for us then to enter your world and look at some of your art.
Yes, thank you. Lama means like teacher, and in the Indians called guru, and in the Westerns often called master. In Chinese called sansi, in Tibetan called lama. La means the highest knowledge. Ma means like a mother. Mother is always kind to the child. Same way lamas, you have to kind to everyone. That's sort of the responsibility in lama's job. Buddha means is a truth. Buddha means fully enlightened energy. I believe is there's so many different religions. They think is our God, our the past, but to me is everybody speaking is the truth is the same. It's like there's many millions lectures, light bulbs, but the electrical energy is only one energy. Everything is art. To me, is everything you see is art. Everything you hear is art. Everything you feel is art. I would always draw a lot of birds and dolphins in my drawings. Because the dolphins, when I see so, they're free spirits. They jump, they dance, they songs, they groups. And we need that. The birds, dolphins, sea, and mountains, the beautiful country is a beautiful art already we live in. I'm just try to remind people to try to make sort of these connections, say, okay, look at this, the beauty of these things. So that's why my art changes to more like a sort of natural, happy feelings. Because in this country, people need more happy spirits. This one is painted by Pama Sangma, who brought Buddhism to Tibet in the 7th century. All the Buddhas sitting in lotus because lotus is the symbol of compassion. Our lotus is like our heart. When we visualize Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the wisdom and compassion in our heart, that opens our heart is like a lotus.
Lama, how do you use art in your teachings? Is it an important part of your spiritual work?
Yes, you can meditate on mandala or deities or colors or places, all a relative art. But also you use a relative art to found ultimate art in your heart. Also, art has a message about, if you see somebody's art, you can know what's going in their mind. So it's a very beautiful way you can see with the art. And because the art was somebody drawing or sculpture or carving, because there's always connect with it in their heart. So the spirit tells the message about what's going in a person's head or heart, or if you like in America, people think it's the head, but in Asia we think it's heart. So either way, in mind.
Estella, do you see any parallels with your own work?
Yes, I do. It's just starting your day with a prayer and kind of being mindful in every moment on how you are walking, how you are moving through the day, and how you want to share your day, how you want to use your day. And really, for me, it's like, what is going to give me joy in my day? So a lot of it is creating art gives me a lot of joy. It's very therapeutic, and I feel that in my heart I'm most peaceful when I'm in my studio creating my art.
It's a wonderful place for us to make a transition then into Estella's world.
The pieces are a part of me. I'm producing them, so they're become like my children. When they leave home, you want to make sure they're beautiful, they're well dressed and happy to be out in the world. This clay is an oil clay, and it's mixed with vegetable oil, and it doesn't have any toxic fumes. So I warm it up, and you can very easily, put it on. It's very flexible. I think it's very sensuous, and it never dries, so it gives me plenty of time to grow with the piece. For me, this symbol represents new beginnings. This piece is an unfolding of a dance, relationships that we have, maybe a relationship between a man and a woman, and the balance that needs to be kept. It's a dance going on. I guess it's a dance going on with me personally in my life. Sometimes I'm just trying to learn with the peace, letting the peace teach me. So it's a study. I don't know where it's gonna go, but I can kind of see this going like that and turning into just an energy. I'm gonna try working with this for a few days, and then if I feel like it's changing, then I just cut her off and just keep going with that energy, bringing it around. Actually, that's kind of what I'm seeing. I always feel like I have to kind of meditate on it and pray about it for the courage just to be able to let go. Because it takes some courage to just let go. It feels good though, to do it.
I loved how you described some of your pieces as your children. That's a very intimate metaphor for a work of art. Can you talk about that?
Well, you put so much of yourself and you spend so much time with the piece and the pieces that like when I do the faces, I'm, just packing the clay, and then I start creating the nose, the mouth, and then I love it when I get to open their eyes, and I love it when I kind of create their smile. And I always try to make them in a position where they're very comfortable, because they have to sit that way for a while, or they'll have to stand that way for a while. So I want them to be very balanced and have harmony and just have a comfortable place for the whole energy of what I'm trying to create.
That moment when you create the eyes, when you paint the eyes in, is that the moment when the spirit enters the work and it becomes alive?
I think it's always there, as you start the whole process. But for me, when I do the eyes and I start doing the face, I feel like it's starting to look at me now, that I'm starting to have a relationship with the piece, So it's like my child. It becomes like a part of me, and you're giving birth. You're giving birth to an energy.
Lama, I'm very curious about your response to Estella's reflections about the art spirit.
It shows me as like this caring, beautiful sculpture, and then she destroyed, as it shows the sort of the everything comes, goes in impermanence. And we don't know what's coming in next moment. Everything is a mystery. We don't know in next hour what's going to be. So the moment is the gift we have. And also the way she works with in the clay and the vegetable oils, I think I like that. And it's a beautiful work.
Estella, I'm very struck by your comments about learning from your own work. How do you get this dialogue to move back and forth, where you're creating something and then you listen to it? How does that work?
You start every day, and you start with a ball of clay, and you start moving with it, and every moment is different. And then at a certain point of the day, maybe you have to go work out, play with your granddaughter. You have other things to do, so you take a break and you come again in the morning. And the next day it unfolds in a different way, maybe unlike you expected yesterday. And you're open to the change. You're open to wherever it wants to take you. I don't get so stuck on where I want it to go. You know, like when I took off the head, I can take it off, play with it, but if this other doesn't work, I can take that off and put that back. You know, so it gives me a chance to dance with it, to have fun with it, and just to see where I am that might make me feel good, you know. But I always feel that we are changing. We have to be willing to change, to let go, and to move forward.
Does this make sense to you, Lama? That when we're creating, when we're making something new, when we're inventing, we're growing as human beings.
Yes. When I was come to America, I have to start the life in begin, because I grew up in Asia. Was a sort of, if you are chosen, you are Lama, then is sort of, they treat you so different way, right? You come to America, you have to start everything from the zero. So, but I'm appreciated because I learned to cook and how to make a garden, how to paint a house, and just I just paint my temple and things like that. And then sort of every day is learning and growing. And so, you know, sometimes in America we think it's like we lost one job or something, then we think it's lost the whole world. There's more opportunities if you see that, because you lost one thing, you focus, you lost, then there's so many opportunities opens to you. You can working and learning, enjoying. When you enjoy, you're learning.
So does that mean when we're not creating, when we're not making something, we're stagnant or even falling backwards?
Some people are stuck. They think they can't do it. They don't have hope. Sort of, they raise up the ignorance to they limited themselves to sort of the push down themselves, to closing themselves to, oh, I don't have hope. I can't. That means you sort of closing yourself. But if you say, I can't, this is so wonderful, I will do it this way, that way, then there's beautiful, more confidence and the more clear vision opens towards you.
Does this mean that art can heal us?
I feel we are creating work, I think that will transform environments. At least that's what I want to do. If you bring home a piece of art, it will shift your home. It will transform a space because it has energy. And I try to do art that is very serene and very peaceful. And I hope that, you know, wherever they go, that's what it brings to an environment.
I feel always their art is not just only drawing, you know. There's inner art, which is meditation and visualization. And this painting, as a person, always we think Buddha or the truth is somewhere, you know. Somewhere have to go to get there, you know. We have to go to Buddha, we have to go to India, or we have to go to a place to really connect with the Buddha. But if really we have a trust and faith strong enough, then you don't need to go anywhere. We are the one as the center of universe. We are the one already connected to Buddha. So this person understand that moment And this girl, she like sort of opens her heart. Oh, Buddha is not somewhere. In that moment, she feels like raining flowers and the rainbows comes to her. And she feels that moment is beyond words, beyond thoughts. She get true enlightenment energy, ultimate happiness arise into her heart. Everybody has a gift of art. Some people has speech art. They can talk beautifully, or they can sing songs and poetries. There are so many beautiful gifts of speech art. Some people has mind art. They can't draw, but they can create things in their mind. And we all have dreams and want to create things. It's good. We have gift. This body is useful to create things, to do wonderful things. That's why we are here, to manifest it and do something good things to ourselves and to our families, to in the world, to all the animals, plants. To me, is the happiness is the success.
I really feel that art isn't always like the most joyful, because in real life you have negative emotions as well. You know, sometimes you have a little hard time, but I think that those experiences also can enhance your art. You know, when those little moments when you maybe have little struggles can make your art more powerful, and then you get happier, you know, because you have negative few moments and they always turn.
This is the really nakedness of our mind, of ordinary person. We all go through these situations. Some people go through every day. Some people go through once a while. This. A lot of people don't like. Some people says, "What happened that day?" I said, "Nothing happened. This is a great day I painted." And they asked me, "What you thinking?" I said, we are like this." And they said, "Oh, how?" I said to them, "This is a symbol of three poisons. So ignorance, anger, attachment. When we use these three poisons, then we begin to suffer. And then we stopped. We don't know why we're not happy, why we're so much angry, why we can't sleep, why we can't eat, why these things happening. But if we realize, because the three poisons, ignorance, when we don't know what the truth, then we better not judging. And just we know exactly what's going on our mind, but we don't know other people's mind. Better not judging other people's. Only judging ourselves to transform ourselves to be good person. Anger is you. Even though somebody did something bad to you or something not nice to you, if you're angry, you not destroy that person. You destroy yourself. Anger destroys your family. Anger destroys your friendship. Anger destroys your business. Anger destroys your physical health. Destroys everything. So, in same way in attachment, we're never satisfied. We want something more. When we have a little house in the city, then we want another house in the country. Attachment never satisfies. When you push it, what you have, you're the richest person in the world. So what I'm saying is, it's like I told some people, I said, okay, just look this picture. You like this picture? You don't. But this is exactly the truth. The truth, nobody like truth. They like lies, white lies. Oh, you look good. You must be a kind person. Oh, must be you a good person. You're wise. People want to hear that. But the truth is like our mind. Sometimes messy is like this.
As a writer, I was raised to believe that just about everything could be described by words. However, I've learned to realize, as I've gotten older, that there are some experiences, some dimensions that can only be expressed in images. This is a very disturbing image. It seems to be a kind of X-ray of the soul of an angry person. What did you think? What did you feel looking at that image?
At first it seemed I was a little bit confused, and I wanted to ask him what that was coming out of the eyes, and I didn't understand it, but it seemed angry and confused. But again, coming to the word courage, I think it took courage for you to do something like that. But I think we all have moments like that, so it's a part of the truth.
Yes, you can look and things coming from ears and eyes and mouth, and one person is a sort of use the ignorance in attachment, jealous, and pride, in anger, then what that comes their mouth is never nice. For example, when you are a child, maybe like 5 years old, something, 6, 7 years old, you're in the street, you see somebody yell you an angry person, they damage you, and you never forget your entire life in that moment. But if you see somebody has peace and smile and some nice to you, and maybe when you're a child, and you never forget that beauty. We have light sides, dark sides. Which one we want to be manifested? It's a choice as our motivation. We can make difference. Which kind of picture you want? You want picture of Buddha or you want picture of that? That is your choice. So that's why I paint that.
It seems there are many motivations and purposes and reasons for art. Beauty traditionally reminds us of what's life-affirming. It gives us a reason to live. But there's an aspect of this kind of work that's disturbing and maybe pushes us off center, so we have to think in a new way.
People feel shocked, and a lot of people ask me, so why you paint such like this, like evil, painful-looking drawing? And some people may learn from something this because this is the truth. And sometimes, who like anger, but it just automatically rise. But when you anger rise, then you have a chance to look, to transform. Oh, this I don't like. This is the picture of my drawing, like that kind of feelings. But this is sort of way my teachings come out with my art, to show and say, see, this is sometimes we're like, but it's okay. We can work and we can transform, we can change. So that's way I thought this is a sort of one way I teach with my art. Mm-hmm. I hope you like it.
But I'm curious to know if you sold that painting. Did someone buy that painting, or do you still have it?
I still have it, and also I was thinking maybe make a T-shirts, but who going to wear?
This piece is called Unfolding Blessing. This to me represents whatever you're thinking, the moment, every moment in time. So whatever you're thinking is what you are going to unfold in the moment, in the day, and that becomes your creation. Because it's energy, whatever you're thinking, you're kind of putting it out there. So the unfolding that I feel like I'm acknowledging in this piece is like celebrating the gift of every moment. And this piece turns. I like all my sculptures to be able to turn. In the center, it can be seen on both sides. And I like this side because it's really peaceful and it's quiet. And so where I would like to take this is do it like an 8 foot by 8 foot or 10 foot by 10 foot. And remind people of the importance of now, that every moment is a gift. So that's what I'm sculpting right now. It's just a moment in time.
I know there's a wonderful saying in Buddhism, present moment, perfect moment. Can you explore that a little bit?
Well, for me, that's all we have is this moment. And what I was doing in this piece is whatever we are thinking, wherever our heart is, our state of mind, wherever our thoughts are, is the moment. We're giving power to this moment by the way we think. Because whatever you think, you're going to bring in, you're going to unfold. So if you think positive, then that becomes your reality. If you are thinking negative, then you bring the doubts, the fear, the negativity, that's what you bring in.
I'm struck also by the title of this piece with the spiral in it, unfolding. Something's unfolding out of the moment. But why blessing? How can a work of art be a blessing?
It's a blessing because it's a prayer. It's a prayer that went into the piece. And when you're working on a piece, you're putting life into it. You're breathing your life into it. We all have so many breaths in our lifetime, and we only have so many. So I think when we are creating, we are giving this piece a life force. So it's a blessing, because I don't take my breath for granted.
Is that the art spirit, the creative spirit we're talking about? The moment when our life force actually moves into a piece that we're creating?
Without it, without that force, without our breath, we wouldn't be able to do it. So it's life, it's breath, it's energy, it's thought, it's prayer. I mean, it's something that doesn't just happen. We've been brought up all our lives since we were children in a certain way, in a certain culture, being taught in our languages, in ceremony, in songs, we have prayer. And I think in our lifetime, it's unfolding. And in this time, after many, many years, this is the piece I'm doing and that's the title. But it didn't just happen now. It's a whole lifetime of an unfolding. This one is called Having Faith. It's kind of like letting go and trusting. She's like trying just to let go, and not worry, and just like somehow to have that faith. I love this vase. I just think it's so beautiful. The gold is 22 karat gold leaf. I wanted to do a piece that would have a very gentle flight, because all the pieces that I see that are done of eagles are always very intense, and this is very gentle. It takes a lot of time because I'm into finding balance and grace. It should be flowing and graceful, If you're an eagle, then I hope you have a graceful flight. Mm-hmm. If you're a woman, I hope you can walk graceful. It's just sort of how you walk in life. Because I work in this clay, you can see how I kind of move these feathers up so they kind of have a flow. And I like that opportunity to be able to move the clay, press it down, And working in this clay allows me to do that. In stone, once you take it away, it's gone.
The woman standing in Largo and this eagle, golden eagle, with those together, it's working very nicely. And why? Because sometimes we stuck things, sort of, we can't let go. Like, sort of, I have to have this. This is mine. Sort of, we sort of hold it because he's so mean to me. Like, sort of, we can't let go. You know, some people. But when you let it go, and then it's like an eagle to me. It's like sort of you have wings to be free yourself, to flow. And you maybe don't have wings, but you have inner wings to free yourself. It's the most beautiful way I see these pieces.
You mentioned freedom, being free. I think as when we're children, you know, we're very free, we're young, we don't have a lot of responsibility. But I think as we become adults and we have our own children and we have our responsibilities, sometimes I feel we aren't as free as we used to be, aren't as spontaneous, we're not as, you know, just carefree. And I think as artists, we have to really be careful that we don't lose that. You know, it's almost like a childlike nature of expression. You know, we shouldn't get so rigid in how we want things. You know, we have to be flexible to kind of go with the moment.
Does this entail a practice? Because there are a lot of negative forces in the world that really don't want us to be creative. There are forces that say, let's keep things the way they are. But have you had to have a practice where you learn to trust this creative spirit that comes out in your painting?
I think it's not up to Buddha or teacher or anyone. So really it's up to you to make your difference in your life. But you need the confidence in clear vision and trust. So when you have that with the faith, the path of enlightenment or path of awakening is connect with your heart. So you can just follow in. But it's important to do exercise like Tai Chi or yoga and then sort of meditation and sort of relaxing, sort of breathing. Because today in America, we have a big problem because we sit in the office, we sit in the car, sit in the sofa, go to bed. That's why, so we get so many problems creating in health. So that's why we need to move and breathe and sort of stretches and movements. Each person has a job to carry in the right consciousness in this moment to positive energy to the world. Most people, they forget in the moment and always sort of looking for something further, but we don't have further, we don't know next moment. Om Mani Padme Hum, mantra of compassion. Bye. Bye. Nothing is forever. Everything is impermanent. It's important to not touch to things.
So letting go of our attachments, chasing dreams, you know, that maybe we don't really need like too many things. As I get older, I find that I want less. I don't want so much. So, because I think it weighs you down. And maybe something you bought 20 years ago no longer serves you. It doesn't give you the joy, or it doesn't speak to you anymore. But maybe somebody else walks in your home and they love it. So give it away.
I know some people, some ladies have 300 shoes. You only 2 feet. Well,
Yeah. It's time to give it away, you know.
I think it's simple, it's important.
I'd like to go back to another theme from the film clip when you said it takes courage to let go. What are we trying to let go of?
Sometimes I think we are hanging on to an old belief system. We hang on to old emotions, memories, maybe how we were raised, maybe traditional techniques. But as you are growing in this time and this age, you find new ways to express yourself. That's what I mean about letting go. And somehow, and I think we all know what we have to do, you know, individually. We know what has to change and how we need to move to grow in a better way.
In my own work, I've noticed that if my ego gets in the way, if I'm thinking about success, money, fame, and so on, I can't really write. I can't do my art. So the Buddhist notions about moving the ego, putting it in its place, have helped me a lot. Can you describe this process, Lama, in your own work about letting go and surrender?
Yes, very easy and very simple. And you know, it's nothing is forever. Everything is impermanent. And look in our history, all the famous great kings, scholars, right now it's only stories and books. What happened there is impermanence.
Well, it's a very humbling perspective. The answer was the gift. Thank you. It's a good chance for us to look at another film clip about you and your work.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. This painting is called The Mothers, the symbol of peace. In Tibetans, we say the first human language is Ma. It doesn't matter English or Chinese or Tibetan, always start with the mama or ma, mother, ma. There's a ma sound is the first sound. Therefore, when I paint this, I was thinking about, I painted Tara in the center. Tara is a manifestation of wisdom and compassion. They're called mother of all the Buddhas, because all the Buddhas born and manifested from the wisdom and compassion. Tara has 7 eyes, and they're watching always. And also she's standing in the Mother Earth. And this all rise from the rainbows with the Mother Earth. And also she says, she comes again and again to this world. After that, she comes back as different female forms. Now, I believe all the female goddesses in this world is Tara manifestations. So then Asia is like a Kuan Yin is so big in Asia, I put in the Kuan Yin, the mother. And then in the West, Mother Mary is the mother of the Jesus. And then I saw in some paintings a Black Madonna from different countries. And then in the Native Americans always talk about the Corn Mother. So it doesn't matter which religion or which group, we all live in the Mother Earth. To me, is the mother is the most important person in the world. Your mother, the one carry you inside 9 months and carry in her body. And then she cleans you, everything, all these dirty things, bathe you, and teach you, and feed you. And she really just sort of watching you growing, always there for you. Mother has unconditional love for their child.
I think it's a universal language of love and compassion that all mothers have. All mothers feel, I think, the same. We speak the same language. So it doesn't matter what culture we come from.
we have similar cultures, Tibetans and natives here. And always I see native people, I feel it's like sort of connecting with my own people. So, and also there's the similar lot of things. So I've enjoyed to exploring your work and knowing you.
I remember when I lived in India, and we were in Darjeeling and in Kathmandu and going to the Tibetan refugee camps. I was very young, maybe 18 or 19, many years ago. And when I came to the camps and I saw the Tibetan people in the other side of the world, I felt like they were my family. I felt like I came home, and I felt very like I was a part of them, like my family was waiting. And so all the time when I see Tibetan people, I feel like they're my relatives. You're my relative.
Same way I have feelings, because the first time I went to native place in Detroit, first of all, I'm going there was like, why I'm going? Just like I'm not comfortable going there. But when I see we build together this fire and doing the ceremony, and then together, and then the altar, who's the medicine man comes and give me a hug and crying. He said, "Welcome, brother." In that moment, it just touches my heart. And in a few days, I'm staying and I'm leaving. It was just so hard for me to sort of leave in my family. It just sort of, I'm saying, okay, I'm not saying goodbye. I'm going to say, see you soon.
In our culture, we don't have a word for goodbye. There's no goodbye, because we always will see each other again.
Yeah, we say long life. In that is goodbye. So tsering. In Tibetan, say tsering means long life.
Well, that's a wonderful grace note with which to end our conversation on the creative spirit. I want to thank you, Estella. I'd like to thank you, Lama, for joining us here on Global Spirit for this exploration of creativity, art, and the sacred.
Hello, I'm still John Cleese, and I do hope that you're enjoying this unique series as much as I am, and I trust you will join us again soon for another episode of Global Spirit, the first internal travel series.
Mars Attar and the Attar family, in honor of our dedicated community of volunteers and supporters, in service to the awakening of our essential humanity through education, indigenous wisdom, land stewardship, and care for future generations. Together with our partners, we direct our gifts, resources, and actions toward a more conscious, compassionate, and responsible world.